Bail has been granted for former Transnet CEO Siyabonga Gama and his 6 co-accused in the Palm Ridge Magistrate Court following their arrest on fraud and money laundering charges at the Brackendowns Police Station this morning. The other accused include former Trillian Capital boss Eric Wood, former Transnet Treasurer Phetholo Ramosebudi, former acting Transnet CFO Gary Peter, Gupta-associate Kuben Moodley, as well as Daniel Roy of Trillian Capital. All the 7 accused are facing money laundering and fraud charges of a combined 93 million rand. 5 of the 7 accused have been granted bail set at 50,000 rand, while bail for Wood has been set at 250,000 rand and 25,000 for Ramosebudi. They'll be back in court on the 13th of June. Well, earlier, SABC News economics reporter Notando Makudulela spoke to Sindisiwe Siboka, the investigating Directorate National spokesperson.
5 accused were arrested and then they were brought to court today to appear to be joined with Kuben Moodley. Kuben Moodley was arrested in September last year on this particular matter, but for the money laundering aspect of that particular matter. These accused were actually arrested for the predicate offence, meaning the main offence. So they stand accused of having benefited about 93.4 million. Transnet paid 93.4 million to a company called Trillian Asset Management, and we're saying that the former government's officials colluded or assisted in making sure that those funds were actually paid to Trillian, and a payment that was done in December after a similar payment had been made to another company which we're alleging is Regiment's Capital, which was paid for similar work done earlier on in that year in 2016. So essentially at the heart of this particular a court case today, we're saying that these accused defrauded Transnet of about 93.4 million.
I understand they were also mentioning money laundering. Tell us more about that.
So Mr. Kuben Moodley, who's the co-accused in this matter, we're saying that after the money was paid from Transnet to Trillian Capital, we're saying that the money, about 70 million odd, was then transferred to Mr. Kuben Moodley, who then laundered it to various persons as alleged in our charge sheet in court today. So that is essentially what we're saying. But at the heart of it, we're saying as the NPA Investigating Directorate, we are committed to ensuring that more similar cases emanating from work of the State Capture Commission of Inquiry, meaning any fraud that took place also in state-owned entities, which is currently some of which is authorized by us, we're going to ensure that we meet our seminal plans that were committed by the National Director of Public Prosecutions, Shamila Batoi, as well as my direct boss, Advocate Andrea Johnson.
And your reaction to the bail granted today?
So what we must also emphasize is that bail is not punitive in its nature, and it's granted as and when, depending on various circumstances. We do not believe that these gentlemen that were in court today are a flight risk. However, should they then breach the bail conditions thus stipulated, we will be glad to take their bail amounts which they're going to be paying. They'll then forfeit those bail amounts. Additionally, we'll then be glad to come back to court to ask the honourable court to then revoke their bail, and they then stay in prison for the duration of the case.